The airport doors slid open, and winter air cut through the uniform I still hadn't taken off. Home. After 9 months in sand and smoke, after nights of gunfire echoing like old ghosts. Christmas lights blinked across the parking lot, too cheerful for the world I'd come from. I lifted my duffel, scanned faces, and there she was, my daughter. Taller than before, older, eyes shining like she hadn't seen me in years, because she hadn't. She ran into my arms, and for a brief second the world softened. Then my wife appeared, smiling, too brightly. Behind her, her sister, arms crossed, lips tight. A flicker in her eyes. Guilt wears a face when it isn't used to being watched. We drove home in warm silence. Fireplaces lit windows as we passed, families gathered, clinking glasses. Mine felt staged. Every laugh forced, every gesture rehearsed. The kind of warmth built to hide rot underneath. I watched my wife pour wine with hands too steady for someone seeing their soldier husband after almost a year. Fake calm is louder than panic. My daughter curled beside me on the couch, head on my shoulder. I asked softly, "Was the $2,500 I sent each month enough?" She lifted her head, brows pulled together. "What money?" The room froze. My wife went pale. Her sister looked away, heart pounding loud enough I swore I could hear it. I did not flinch. I did not raise my voice. I simply smiled, quietly, coldly. And in that silence, every truth sharpened like glass beneath bare feet. I returned for Christmas to hold my family. Instead, I came home to ghosts wearing familiar faces. My daughter's confusion wasn't an act. She doesn't know how to lie yet. Not like her mother. Not like the sister-in-law with eyes like a hunted animal. $2,500 every month. More than enough for bills, for comfort, for safety. Yet her clothes felt worn. Her laptop was old. Her shoes creased, frayed, loved too long. My wife reached for her glass like it was oxygen. "Sweetheart, your dad just means—" "No," I cut in. Calm, controlled. "I mean exactly what I asked." The silence pressed against the walls. My daughter studied me, and I saw it. Fear, not of me, of truth. Dinner was served. Laughter returned like a cheap actor trying to hit old lines. But every clink of silverware was a tremor. Every shared glance between my wife and her sister, a silent confession. My sister-in-law kept checking her phone. Guilt, or fear of exposure. Interesting how similar they look. Family. A fragile word when trust bleeds out quietly. Later that night, when everyone slept, I stood in the doorway of my daughter's room. She hugged a stuffed bear, worn ears, missing button eye. She should have new ones, many, but she had this one, a gift from when I first deployed. I paid to keep her world bright. Someone dimmed it instead. My wife turned in bed when I slid in beside her. She whispered, "You're finally home." I whispered back, "We'll see." Morning brought forced normalcy. Pancakes, Christmas music, the illusion of domestic peace. But beneath it, cracks, hairline fractures that only the patient notice. I spent days observing, quietly. My wife grew twitchy around mail. Her phone never left her hand. Her sister visited too often, always whispering in corners. I checked bank statements, transfers, withdrawals, cash gone, receipts for high-end salons, fine dining, weekend retreats. Not one purchase for our daughter. Her savings account? Empty. My heart didn't break. It calcified. That's the thing about war zones. You learn to bury emotion before it buries you. I requested bank footage. Routine military verification, I told them. They complied. I watched her pull money like oxygen. Patterns. Every month. Like clockwork. I contacted a private investigator. 2 days later, photos. My wife, her sister, a man with a too familiar arm around her waist. Betrayal doesn't stab, it slowly poisons. I kissed my daughter goodnight, brushed hair from her eyes. She deserved truth, but innocence doesn't need blood to know pain. I tucked her in gently. The storm wasn't hers. The envelope arrived on the third morning. Documents, photos, bank logs, phone records, and then DNA verification. Not for infidelity, for something colder. My daughter was mine. That truth steadied me, anchored me. Everything else could burn, but she was real. I placed the files on the table, sat, waited. My wife walked in, saw them. Color drained from her face like someone opened a vein. She tried to speak, no words. I tapped the stack once. She trembled. Her sister arrived minutes later, panic telegraphed across her expression. I slid the folder toward them, slow, deliberate. Not to accuse, to witness. They opened it. Shock, frozen horror. My wife whispered, "You don't understand." I raised a hand. Quiet. I already knew. Their sobs filled the room. Unraveling. Begging without speaking. My heart? Still. Ice in veins. War taught me restraint. Betrayal perfected it. No shouting, no slamming doors. Just truth. And consequences. I stood, took my daughter's hand, told her to pack her favorite things. My wife collapsed to the floor. My family? No, I replied softly. Your choices. I signed the transfer of assets the night before. My savings moved to an account only I controlled. The house? Joint. But power doesn't live in walls. Power lives in leaving someone alone with the world they built. I walked her sister to the door. She tried to speak. I opened it wider instead. Outside, the cold bit. I welcomed it. My phone buzzed. A call from my son's wife 2 states away. Her voice bitter, entitled, "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." I looked at the mansion I'd rented, Swiss Alps photos loaded on my screen. The villa I purchased silently over years of deployment. "I'll pass," I murmured. "Enjoy." Then I sent her the photos. 71 missed calls followed. I never answered. Greed starves when ignored. My daughter slept on the flight to Switzerland, head against my arm. Safe, unbroken. Snow-capped peaks rose like silent guardians outside the window. My phone vibrated endlessly. Calls, apologies, pleas, threats. I powered it off. Silence tasted clean. Some men returned from war with ghosts. I returned with clarity. A home isn't walls. A family isn't blood. Love isn't owed. Trust isn't renewable. I did not lose anything. I removed what was rotting. Peace isn't loud. It's a quiet door closing, and it doesn't open again.